Hi, everybody. This is Tommy Lasorda. Listen to The Sandlot, the best thing that could happen to you.
The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball.
Are you crying?
It's a part of our past, Ray.
There's no crying.
It reminds us of all that once was good.
There's no crying in baseball.
Just a bit outside.
Baseball will be very, very good to me.
It's a simple game. You throw the ball, you hit the ball, you catch the ball.
Personally, I think we got holes on that.
The Sandlot Radio Network is on the air. And now, starting pitcher for the Sandlot, former pro player and Major League scout, Ted Howard.
This is National League All-Star Justin Upton.
Hi, this is Shane Victorino.
Hi, this is Albert Pujols.
Hi, this is David Wright.
It's Derek Jeter of the New York Yankees, and you're listening to The Sandlot.
Welcome to The Sandlot. It's where everybody plays. It's a place of our own. It's our field. It's our neighborhood. It's our team. It's our home. The Sandlot is presented by the Sandlot Radio Network and sponsored by Terramore Collective, EconoAir, South Bay Credit Union, Max Graphics LA, and Grit Sports Collective. The Sandlot returns for its 12th season and second on our new home, Fox Sports Radio 610 AM and 106.7 FM. Also stream live on 610foxsports.com. We look forward to bringing you the childhood Sandlot stories from the biggest names in baseball, including players, coaches, scouts, front office personnel, and even media as they reflect on their road to the big leagues. This is producer Nick Wright sitting in for Tad Powers, who has a dental emergency. We've had some requests for the best of show of last year, so what better time than right now? Please enjoy the best of Sandlot 2024.
This week we have the final show of The Sandlot for the 2024 season. It's the best of The Sandlot from the past two seasons. Segment 1 will feature current and up-and-coming Major League prospects. The second segment will feature all Dodger players and coaches. And the third will have former Major Leaguers that have had amazing careers, including a Hall of Famer. And the final segment will feature current everyday Major League players. Right now, we're going to hear from some of the Major Leaguers that are up-and-coming prospects: Jackson Holliday, Travis Mazzana, Ryder Ryan, and Eric Wagaman.
What about Cooperstown? At 12, did you guys go to that Cooperstown Dreams Park tournament?
Yeah, I went as an 11-year-old. I was the youngest kid in the tournament, and I didn't hit a home run. So Ethan's got that over me. Ethan hit like 10 or something. So if Ethan was the big kid with all the power that threw harder than everyone. So if you ever have him on here, that's your guy for that category. He's the one that hit it further than everyone and threw it harder.
Well, he's got some size, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he's a little bit more like my dad when it comes to that big strength guy. So
let's talk a little about this lineage thing, because it's Ethan, and you got a little brother too. Let's talk about little bro.
Which one, Ethan or Reed?
Reed, because I've heard that he might be the beast of the crew.
Yeah, Reed's he's quite a character. We're trying to get him more into baseball. He loves football right now, so big NFL fan, knows everything about the NFL and all those guys. But yeah, he's quite a character. He's a pretty good little athlete too. But he's got plenty of time, and hopefully he starts hitting the cage a little bit more. We got a cage at the house, so hopefully he falls in love with baseball. He's definitely really athletic for an 8-year-old, or 10-year-old. And
a lot of people don't know how good your dad was as a high school quarterback, because he just went straight into baseball. But man, he was as good as anybody in the country his senior year in high school, taking snaps and going back and fading, and try to tackle that dude.
Yeah, that would be no fun in high school for sure.
Wow. So, Will, let's talk a little bit about some of the stats that this young man put up as a senior in high school, because I scouted a long time, and you just don't see those numbers.
685 average. Set the national high school record for most hits in a single season with 89. On top of that, you got 17 jacks, and I believe out of the 89 hits, about 50 of them were extra base hits. So talking about playing 12-year-old baseball, it seems like you kind of put up those little league type numbers in high school, man. That had to be a lot of fun.
I hit 500 as a junior, so I was like, okay, I can do a whole lot better than that. And getting to play with Ethan made it a whole lot more fun.
Travis, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sandlot.
Thanks for having me.
What was it like to play this summer in the Cape?
It's been a blast. I played against a lot of really high quality competition and guys that I see on the internet a lot, and Team USA guys, and just met a lot of great people. The coaching staff here and just all the people around the league and in the Cape have been wonderful. And it's obviously a pretty beautiful place in the summer, so it's been an awesome experience.
Well, let's talk about the road, Trav, because you're not a typical college baseball player. It's a long way from Australia to Oregon State. So let's talk about how you landed on your feet in such an awesome program and how you busted in as a freshman, because one of the things I always tell kids, you go D1, don't plan on playing the first year, but you somehow figured out how to beat somebody out and win that job.
Well, the journey was kind of interesting because I knew I wanted to go to the U.S. and pursue baseball from super young age, but I didn't really know how. I didn't really know much about college baseball. When I was kind of 14, 15, I sort of started getting pro interest as an international free agent. Just kind of had to figure out the ropes, and I had some good people in my corner, including Trent Olchen, who you know well. They put me in a position in a tournament in Arizona to play in front of some quality D1 schools, and lucky Oregon State was there and took note of me, and I went on a visit, and it was the best place for me. But yeah, I think when I visited Oregon State, I felt like it was a coaching staff that would understand me and really give me a shot to compete as soon as I stepped on campus. And that was big for me. I really prepared that 18 months kind of leading up to getting to campus after I committed to be as best physically and mentally prepared to be a college baseball player as soon as I stepped up foot on the field, just being ready.
You mentioned you decided at a pretty young age that you wanted to pursue baseball. What made you love it, and who were some of the influences at that young age to get you into it?
I don't know what or who made me love it, because I really loved it for as long as I can remember. Like, since I was in kindergarten, 3-5 years old, like I knew I loved baseball. Like I always wanted to do it, but my love for the game just grew and grew, and the passion and aspirations grew and grew. And some of my biggest inspirations and mentors were Trent Olchen, meeting him when I was 10 or 11, and him automatically instilling belief in me and just allowing me to aim high and have big aspirations. And then someone like Glenn Williams was around me a bunch from a young age, and just always provided me opportunities and provided me support and taught me about the ways and how to mature in the game of baseball. Those people come to my head, and then my dad just always supported me and gave me opportunity to go and learn and fail and just grow in everything I was doing. And yeah.
Ryder, I want to thank you for being a guest on the Sandlot.
Oh, no, thank you, Tad. I appreciate you having me on here.
Well, it's good to tell the great American baseball family stories, and you guys got a great one, because I just mentioned all the background and the lineage, and it goes way up, years and years, generations, and you're just following the footsteps of some of these guys that paved the way. And let's talk about Sandlot days in the Ryan household in North Carolina, because it had to be competitive in that backyard.
Yeah, I mean, we were very competitive at that. We were playing wiffle ball all the time. We'll play anything. We'll play hide-and-go-seek, manhunt. I mean, you name it. We were competitive at anything we'll do. Fishing, we have 2 ponds. I mean, me and River would just go out there and just go after it and check each other out, and try home runs off each other all the time, and it was fun.
I told your dad that he kind of cheated by naming you Ryder and your brother River Ryan and Ryder Ryan. Those just sound like big leaguers. That's a lot of pressure, because with the big league name and big league lineage, there's a lot of pressure to do well.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of pressure here, but you gotta have the right mindset to go through it. I mean, I've been through a lot in my career, and this is kind of really nothing to me. I mean, we're going up and down, up and down. I'm grateful to go up and down this year. I mean, helping the Pirates out and helping them. So, I mean, yeah, it was great, and he's got to be consistent in that level of pitching. So,
Well, let's turn back the clock. You know, we talked about backyard wiffle ball games with River, and Uncle Jay would come over and compete in that. I'm sure your dad stood into getting that bat or two because he was a hitter. And there had to be some kind of thing going on that just took it to another level compared to other backyards.
Yeah, I mean, we started when we were young. I mean, we were pretty young, and then it got into a competitive. It was competitive, but it wasn't more. It was more competitive more in like high school and stuff, and like middle school and stuff was like okay, but like high school it got really competitive because man, my uncle would play 2-on-2, or my dad would throw to us, and then my uncle would pitch, and then it would just go back and forth, and it was so much fun.
We're with Eric Wagaman, brand new major leaguer with the Los Angeles Angels. Eric, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sandlot.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Let's talk about going into high school. Also, at 12, were you the kid that was knocking them out over there at Cooperstown? Did you hit 10 homers?
Oh, I think I hit a couple. I definitely had some power. I just don't think – I don't know. I don't know if I knew how to use it. Like, I could run into it every once in a while, but it's not – I wasn't, like, consistent with it yet.
That's another thing people don't realize, how complicated it is to hit when people are throwing a baseball that hard and spinning it the way they do these days. You know, it is a really difficult thing to do, and everyone fails. Like the failure rate as a hitter is something that's almost unacceptable to the human mind. How do you accept the fact that I'm going to fail at least 70% of the time? That's really tough, and it takes a certain mentality to take that failure and turn it into future success.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy that you can fail 70% of the time and be a Hall of Famer for something.
You know, and it really, if you hit 300 lifetime, especially now, there's a really good chance you're going in the Hall. Let's talk about, we've gone through high school. Obviously, you're not getting heavily recruited out of high school because you end up at OCC. That's weird to me because now you're a major leaguer. And a lot of people think that kids in high school look like major leaguers already, or you can always already see that they're going to be a major leaguer, and that's not necessarily the case. A lot of guys need to go to JUCO. They need to get the at-bats. They need to develop. So let's talk about coming out of high school. Why did we pick OCC?
Yeah, I think so my senior year of high school had an offer from Chico State up in Northern California, the Division II school. And a couple of weeks before the school year started, before I was supposed to move out, I called the head coach and I just said, I really want to play Division I baseball, and if that means I got to go to junior college to do it, that's fine with me. I had a friend on the team, Nick Grimes, at Orange Coast. He went to high school with me, and he's the one who said, hey, you should come here. We like to win. It's a lot of fun. He convinced me, and then that's kind of how we ended up at Orange Coast.
Thanks to our prospect guests, Jackson Holiday, Travis Bazana, Ryder Ryan, and Eric Wagaman. We're going to go to break. Don't go away. When we return, we have more of the Best Of show featuring Dodger greats Mookie Betts, Kike Hernandez, River Ryan, and their third base coach and infield coach, Dino Ebel. We're on KAVL's Fox Sports 610 AM and 106.7 FM. We are Fox Sports, the Sandlot. It's where everybody plays. I'm your host, Tad Powers. The Sandlot is presented by South Bay Credit Union.
This is National League All-Star Justin Upton.
Hi, this is Shane Victorino.
Hi, this is Albert Pujols.
Hi, this is David Wright.
Derek Jeter, New York Yankees, and you're listening to The Sandlot.
With so many banking options out there, why choose South Bay Credit Union? As a nonprofit credit union, they're here to serve you, not shareholders. That means they're able to provide better rates, fewer fees, and more valuable benefits to empower their members to live better and do better. You want to master your money? South Bay Credit Union puts you in control of your money with everyday banking solutions. From checking accounts to home mortgages, credit cards to auto loans, their members have access to the tools they need to achieve their financial goals now and in the future. Terramar Collective isn't just a brand, it's a tribute. Born from the Southern California coast and inspired by the legacy of a father who helped shape the board riding world literally. Terramar Collective repurposes vintage flannels and rare finds, blending timeless style with surf heritage. Honor the past, wear the story. Find us on Instagram at Terramar Collective. Step up to the plate with EconoAir's solar services. Their solar solutions deliver unbeatable energy savings, keeping your power bills low all season long. Be a game changer. Switch to clean energy today. Sandlot listeners mention the show for an exclusive discount on maintenance or repair. Call EconoAir at 714-333-0130 and hit your energy savings out of the park.
It was pretty much decided for me to play baseball when I was born.
The Sandlot's where it all starts, doesn't it?
I wasn't bigger than everybody. I just threw harder.
It doesn't take any talent to hustle.
If you don't pull for the Dodgers, there's a good chance you may not get into heaven.
Something happened.
Welcome back to the Sandlot. It's where everybody plays. We're on Fox Sports 610 AM and 106.7 FM. The Sandlot is presented by South Bay Credit Union. Right now we have Dodger players Mookie Betts, Kike Hernandez, River Ryan, and coach that sees no evil. He fears no evil. He's Dino Evil.
At Dodger Stadium with superstar Mookie Betts. Mookie, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sandlot.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
One of the best players in the game. Started out as a shortstop, playing short, playing outfield. Multiple sport athlete, 5-tool guy, making impressions on. I'm a scout. I spent 2 years scouting. Every day I watch you, you surprise me with something. Uncle Terry told me a lot about you when you were a kid. Mm-hmm. And, you know, everybody's biased. Tell me about your relationship with Uncle Terry, Nick, that whole family, because they had to help a little bit along the way.
Yeah, no, they helped a lot. Especially Terry, especially early in my minor league career. He helped out a lot. I was talking to him all the time. Not even just about the game, just about like the game within the game. You know, he'd been there and done everything I had kind of dreamed to do, and so he definitely helped with my journey for sure.
Now that you're in the big leagues, there was a lot of guys that you looked up to as a kid. Mm-hmm. Can you give me an idea who some of those guys were and what you did to set yourself apart from the other kids?
To be honest, I don't really remember who I looked up to, just because I was too busy playing sports, man. I didn't have really a whole lot of time to watch them. So I was going from sport to sport and just playing, and you know, I've had a lot of really awesome coaches that have helped me become who I am today. Obviously, God blessed me with some athletic ability, but a lot of it was just the coaches that made me do drills and all the things that got me here today.
So Nashville's where you grew up. My producer grew up in Nashville. You guys played against each other in travel ball. He was on the Franklin.
I was on the Seminoles when you were on the screen. Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay.
So we got some Nashville too. But I know that your mom had a big influence on you as well. She got you into playing baseball at a very young age. Before you should have, probably.
Yeah, I mean, she got me into everything. My mom and dad got me into everything. So baseball was just something that I did along with 4 other sports.
And was this the one? Because basketball, you're pretty damn good at that too. I know you had to make a decision at some point.
Yeah, I mean, baseball just kind of landed on me, man, to be honest. I was too busy wanting to play basketball and, you know, football and other things. And so baseball, I just kept playing because I was good at it. And I didn't realize how good or what I was, you know, what I could actually accomplish with it. And, you know, once I got drafted and whatnot, I think it kind of decided for me. I actually didn't really decide it. It kind of was a decision that I couldn't really turn down.
Well, as a scout, I've loved watching you play the outfield, but I love when you come over here to play that 6-hole because you're really good over there, man. And I saw an interview where you want to be in the top 5 of all the shortstops in the big leagues. I think it's a very lofty goal, but at the same time, if anybody can do it, it's Mookie.
Yeah, it's a very lofty goal. I mean, we know that's not really possible, but you know, it's always fun to go out and play short. I know I don't really get to play very much, really at all anymore. But you know, the time that I got there was a lot of fun.
And I saw you out here working with Dino. I've known Dino. I played against him. Oh, yeah. And to see you doing those types of drills, that's drills we do in our camps with the kids. And they're like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing it on our knees? I'm like, well, go to the Dodgers and watch Mookie do it.
Yeah, you never can be too good for the basics, you know. And take those things and you apply them to outfield. You can do anything, you know, once your hands are working. So I make sure my hands are working, and then, you know, I can go play infield, I can go play outfield, I can go really do anything I want to do, you know, as long as I got the basics.
He's one of the only true 5-tool players in the game. He's Mookie Betts. Mookie, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sandlot.
Thank you, sir.
At Dodger Stadium with one of the favorite Dodgers of all these fans here. He's Kike Hernandez. Kike, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sandlot.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
You mentioned you didn't really have a Sandlot story, but everybody has a story that develops the passion for the game, something that made you want to work really hard to become a major leaguer. Let's talk about the Sandlot days when you're a kid.
Yeah, man. I guess once I realized that I wanted to become a baseball player, it became the dream, and that was the only thing that I wanted to do. People ask me what you would be if you were not a baseball player, and I don't have an answer because I never really thought about it. I never really had a plan B, and it was baseball or nothing for me. And I'm glad it all worked out, because if not, I would be in somewhat of trouble. But yeah, I mean, a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of sacrifice, and luckily I've been able to make a career out of this beautiful sport, and hopefully I still got I got a couple of years left.
And was there anybody, individual players that you looked up to that you were like, man, if I could be like him?
I mean, yeah, favorite player growing up was Ken Griffey Jr., like a lot of 90s kids. I grew up watching the Yankees pretty closely because Jorge Posada's dad was my godfather, and so of course, growing up closely to Jorge, it was a dream to be like him. Of course, when I was growing up in the 90s, they were winning almost every year, so that made it that much better. And yeah, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't be where I am without my dad. My dad was my rock from day one. He was the driver. He was the flipper, the ground ball guy. You know, he was everything. And if it wasn't for all the sacrifices that he put up, he basically established my work ethic. And like I said, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today. Great times in Boston, you know. My first year in Boston was amazing. I would say it was probably the best year of my career. On the individual side, obviously we felt we were 2 games away from the World Series and we didn't win it. But on the personal side, it was probably the best year of my career. And then after that, last year, you know, some injuries and little things that you run into in your career, things that happen, and things started going south a little bit. And like every veteran on an expiring contract at the trade deadline, you become available, and the world takes you in some unexpected turns, and here we are back at Dodger Stadium.
You love it too, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
it has to feel like home.
You call this place home for so long, and you develop a relationship with the fan base the way that I've been able to develop a relationship here. And I hadn't had the chance to come back since the World Series, and you know, getting to come back as a home player was something that I never thought it would ever happen again. But you know, it's been a blessing.
We're with River Ryan. I just like saying that name. It's a big league name. He's a Dodger through and through, like Tommy used to say. And this guy started out his career as a Padre, and actually he was a shortstop. And the next thing you know, he's got a great arm. They're going to put him on the mound. Your dad and your uncle, I've known them since 1995, and actually your uncle since 93. It's pretty cool to have this type of a family. We call it a great American baseball family because you got lineage, River.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been really cool to grow up with a bunch of professional ball players, man, especially my brother, and, you know, making it to the big leagues, and my uncle being a big leaguer. It's pretty cool.
And big league pitchers. And your dad was a hitter. And your dad went to Rutgers, which is, man, they had a great baseball team back in the day when he was playing. And there was a guy named Mortiz Robinson that he played with that hit over 500 and led the whole entire world in hitting that year.
Yeah, I've seen some VHS tapes of him at Rutgers hitting a couple home runs to go to I think it was to a regional against North Carolina. That was really cool to see. But yeah, it's really cool to be able to watch, you know, some of my uncles and my dad's you know, highlight tapes from back in the day.
And at least they have them, and it gives you an opportunity to set yourself apart from a lot of the other kids in the neighborhood because of it. Let's talk about the Sandlot days. And again, you got an older brother that's getting to the big leagues and you know, kind of making the trail easier for you, and you got uncle and dad. So let's talk about those Sandlot days and how competitive it was in the Ryan household.
Yeah, those there was definitely a couple backyard wiffle ball games, man, that we it was war back there for sure. We definitely, nobody wanted to lose. Yeah, me and my brother would set up a little tin strike zone stand about 40 feet away and launch them at the strike zone as hard as we could. And we're trying to score runs. It seems like it's coming in at 110 miles an hour, but we had a lot of good battles growing up for sure. Me, my dad, my uncle, my brother, kind of the whole family. We used to all get together and play some wiffle ball, on some holidays when everybody was together. But yeah, those days were awesome, man.
Well, and I know how competitive your uncle is, especially because I spent time with him in spring training and we were in the same groups, and it didn't matter what we were doing, whether it was PFPs or first and thirds or pickoffs or running bases, because back then, National League, we had to run the bases. So we were getting taught how to take out the runner at second on a double play, or the shortstop or second baseman. And so we were doing these really cool drills, and he was younger than all of us, and he was doing it with a lot of joy and happiness, and it made me feel good about it.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's one thing you can take away from my uncle, man, is he is a competitive person. He doesn't like to lose in anything.
And nobody does, but
goes for golf too.
Yeah. He's on another level altogether. And I saw it from the time he was 18. So when he was right out of high school, I thought he was ready to go. And I saw his AA start very first time. And he was good. And he was, had a couple starts in rookie ball, and they brought him right up to AA. And and he got to the big leagues. So, again, paving the way for future generations of Ryans, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Chavez Ravine Dodger Stadium with Dino Ebel. Dino, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sandlot once again.
Oh, yeah, anytime. I love talking baseball with you.
Well, way back in 1990-91, Dino Ebel was playing winter ball in Adelaide, and I was playing in Sydney, so we matched up way back then. I know it sounds like a long time ago, but for us it seems like yesterday, doesn't it, Dino?
Sure does, man. We're doing what we love to do. We're still in the game, and it was always a dream of mine to be in the game as long as I can, and here you are. We're sitting here at Dodger Stadium doing this radio show, and looking back in Adelaide, we were playing against each other, and it's just great just to see you here and talking baseball again.
And Dino, the last time I talked to you, you were third base coaching it for the Angels just across town. But the Dodgers, you got roots here, man. This is your team. This is where it all started for Dino.
Yes,
way back in 1988?
1988, signed as a free agent, played through the minor leagues, coached, managed, and then got my chance to go with Socia to the Angels. Spent 14 years with the Angels, and now I'm back. It's my 22nd season back with the Dodgers, but homegrown. This is where it all started. Been Dodger fan my whole life, and it's just living a dream.
He's Dino Ebel, and he's been doing this his whole life. I like to say he's a baseball lifer. And because I played against you, I know you're also a baseball dirtbag, which makes you, that's a term of endearment in our game.
Yes, no doubt.
You played the game the right way. We grew up watching Pete Rose.
Yes.
We were running over catchers when we were 10. We were taking out second basemen.
Oh, yeah.
All those rules are gone away
They're
now.
gone. Yeah, it takes a little bit of the fun out of the game, and I know there's a lot of money invested in these players, but they've made these rules up. Now we got to live by them, but the players are adjusting. It's a different game in today's society, and no more shifts, so it's better for some hitters. But day by day, the game is changing.
Dino Ebel, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sandlot.
You got it, anytime.
Thanks to Dodger greats Mookie Betts, Kike Hernandez, River Ryan, and a coach that sees no evil, he fears no evil. He's Dino Ebel. Don't go away. When we return, we have former greats of the major leagues. Todd Helton, he's in the Hall of Fame. Matt Holliday could very well be one day. Vinny Castilla hit more home runs than any other Mexican-born player in the history of MLB. Jason Grilly, Ryan Spilborgs, we got Grilly and Spilly, and Pete Moylan. You're listening to The Sandlot right here on Fox Sports 610 AM and 106.7 FM. I'm your host, Tad Powers. The Sandlot, it's where everybody plays. The Sandlot is presented by South Bay Credit Union.
Hi, everybody. This is Rick Mundy, former Major League player, former All-Star, and now broadcaster with the Los Angeles Dodgers. You're tuned in exactly where you need to be. It's Sandlot, and it's baseball.
With so many banking options out there, why choose South Bay Credit Union? As a nonprofit credit union, they're here to serve you, not shareholders. That means they're able to provide better rates, fewer fees, and more valuable benefits to empower their members to live better and do better. You want to master your money? South Bay Credit Union puts you in control of your money with everyday banking solutions. From checking accounts to home mortgages, credit cards to auto loans, their members have access to the tools they need to achieve their financial goals now and in the future. Terramar Collective isn't just a brand, it's a tribute. Born from the Southern California coast and inspired by the legacy of a father who helped shape the board riding world literally. Terramar Collective repurposes vintage flannels and rare finds, blending timeless style with surf heritage. Honor the past, wear the story. Find us on Instagram at Terramar Collective.
When I was a kid, I never dreamed of becoming an all-star, just a major league ball player.
Hey, how you doing? This is a new pitcher with the Rockies, Manny Del Carmen, and you're listening to the Sandlot.
Talking true blue, out in the woods, down home.
Welcome back to the Sandlot. It's where everybody plays, right here on Fox Sports 610 AM and 106.7 FM. We are Fox Sports. The Sandlot is presented by South Bay Credit Union. Right now we have Hall of Famer Todd Helton, future Hall of Famer Matt Holliday, one of the greatest to ever come out of Mexico, Vinny Castilla. We got Spilly and Grilly, Jason Grilly and Ryan Spilborgs. And from down under, Pete Moylan. We're with Hall of Famer Todd Helton. Mr. Helton, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sandlot once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I like to hear Hall of Famer before my name.
It sounds so good. And it's about time, I got to tell you. You know, Will and I were just sitting and looking at all the numbers, and you're right up there in certain categories with some of the biggest names in baseball. Because, man,
there you go.
You hit 655.
Very well said.
655 your senior year. That's what he expects you to do. And let's talk about that, because your dad did have a big influence on your hitting as a kid. Let's talk about learning how to hit the ball to left center, because, man, I bet 500 at-bats over the years at Coors Field of yours, and I saw you get a lot of hits to left center, a lot of home runs to left center. How'd you learn that?
You know, it started with a VCR tape. My dad, I don't know who he got it from, because I know he didn't tape it himself because we didn't have a VCR, but we went out and bought a VCR just so I could watch this 15-minute tape on Rod Carew. And Rod Carew talked about hitting the ball out of the way. And the big thing he said, my dad preached to me and I'm talking preached, was you don't have to learn to hit a ball till you pull a ball, until you get to college. And so that was my Bible right there. And we had no other tape. From there, it was probably, we lived in a really small house. It was probably 5 steps to the garage. And there, my dad had a fishing net hanging, and he had made a tee. So he had a washing machine hose, and he was really good at making stuff, and he made a tee. We would go out and hit. We didn't hit every night, but we hit most every night. We had his boat behind it, a fiberglass boat, and it was his pride and joy. If I so happened to pull a ball, it would hit his pride and joy of the boat, and I would suffer the consequences, which was never fun. So
that's a good reason to hit the ball the other way, buddy. Matt Holliday, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sandlot once again.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Well, we have had Dad, we've had your Uncle Dave, we've had your brother Josh, who he's your big brother. You guys played Sandlot ball together. He just told me a little story about the Sandlot. I want to have you tell it again, because it's one of my favorites. You describing your Sandlot there in Oklahoma that you guys made that the parents didn't know anything about. Can you tell me about that Sandlot?
Yeah, we used to, one of my kids my age had a big field, not too far, probably a quarter of a mile. It was all weeds and trash, and we turned it into what we thought. I mean, looking back on it, We could have used a little help from our parents with some grass seed. It was mostly gross weeds, but we ended up digging out dirt. We spent a lot of time trying to build base paths and make fencing out of old trashy fence. As kids, we thought it was awesome. We made it far enough. We used to keep stats, for the summer, and it was our place that we would go to and play rag ball or tennis ball, baseball, and I don't remember. We'd figured out the right ball that if you crushed it, it went over the fence, but it wasn't too easy to hit home runs. But, looking back on it, like I said, if we'd have had a parent chip in with a little bit of machinery and maybe some grass seed, we could have made it really good because we were willing to work for it.
Do you think about kids going out and putting that kind of effort in just so they could have a place of their own, right? A place, like you said, it was our place. We had to do all the work. Nobody contributed except for our crew that was going to play there. It's pretty amazing that you guys were able to organize yourselves and put in that kind of effort to create that kind of a playing field for yourselves.
Yeah, we used to, that's what we did. During the summer, we had a lot of time on our hands. We were outside all the time, and we were either at the pool, and it was a lot like the movie Sandlot. It really was.
We're with one of the greatest players to ever come out of Mexico, Vinny Castilla. Vinny, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sandlot.
No, thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
320 career home runs. Nobody's even close to that, Mexican-born. And I got to see a lot of it there at Coors Field when you were a Bronx Bomber, watching you at third base. I remember a 40 home run season. I remember hitting 300. I remember you having 120 RBIs. That was just a standard season for Vinny.
Yeah, man, I was, it was hard for me to get to the big leagues, man. In Mexico, you cannot sell your contract. The team you play for in Mexico is the one that had to sell your contract to a major league team. So that was hard. It takes time, but I mean, I was so blessed to come in and share my game here in America and play alongside the greatest player that ever played the game, and and work hard, and God blessed me with a little bit of talent, and I was able to do what I did in my career.
Now, before you signed with Atlanta, you're playing in Mexico in the Mexican League. But before that, Vinny's a kid that's got big dreams. Let's talk about what helped you develop into that level of a player in Mexico.
Well, it starts a very young age. My dad was a very big baseball fan. He played baseball in our hometown, and as a kid you want to be like your father. He was my idol, so that's why me and my brother started playing baseball.
Back with Jason Grilli, 20-year professional, 17 in the big leagues, 12 just different organizations. We got to go back a little bit here and talk about some of those experiences, because that's 17 years in the big leagues, 20 as a pro. That's a lot of unis. We talked about that. It's a lot of travel. It's a lot of cities. But we didn't get into, teammates. Who were the best?
What's going on, fellas? Oh, man, you're going right into the clubhouse. I've been in many clubhouses. On a whole, the Colorado Rockies in 2008 when I got traded there, I've never laughed so hard. So that was one of my favorites, just because of that. Each experience and teammates were different. Glendon Rush was a good friend of mine there, and we stayed in touch. And what a sense of humor he was, man! Just knew how to have a good time and kept it what it should have been. We were kids and we were playing together. Mike Trout. I mean, how can you not say, just from a talent standpoint, but just a guy who leads and cares. Todd Jones was a dear friend of mine in Detroit. Gary Sheffield, who was a dear friend of mine, became my agent. So, I mean, there's a plethora of stories and good guys in the game. I think the best thing about, I could go through each team and tell you, Josh Harrison, I loved him on the Pirates. I mean, the guy just was always balls to the walls, played his heart out, never took it for granted. But, I guess, like you said, in a 20-year span, I played for 12 different organizations. I got a pretty good yearbook of guys that I played with. And, I run my own podcast show called Mound Visit, and I'm just trying to bring these guys back, Russ Martin and, John Buck, still good friends of mine. I try to keep in touch. It's almost like it's my 7th year out, and I'm missing these guys more that were my friends, and just knocking on the hotel door, say, hey, man, you want to go get breakfast? Let's go meet in the lobby. Let's go to this place. Let's go to the beach, whatever we were doing to just get out of our heads and be human beings before we had to be teammates again on the field. So always a good time, man. I think that's the thing that every guy will tell you they miss the most is their friends.
With Ryan Spilborghs, he's now a broadcaster and used to be a major league player out of Santa Barbara. Let's talk about the early days in Santa Barbara, the Sandlot days for Mr. Spilborghs, because, man, what a cool place to grow up. Number one, weather-wise, the fact you could play baseball all year round. I'm sure you had some kind of neighborhood place you could gather with your friends and just figure out what's going to make us better and how we're going to do it.
Yeah, so we had we didn't have a neighborhood Sandlot. We had a park. I mean, Santa Barbara is beautiful, and when you grow up there, you just don't realize it until you leave. I think there's a lot of times in life you just don't. You're not quite where your feet are, or even if you are where your feet are, you don't realize how good or how nice something might be until you leave it, and then you come back and you go, oh my God. I can't believe how crazy Santa Barbara is. And so there's a place right around from where I grew up. I grew up on the Mesa in Santa Barbara, which is like, if you're ever familiar, if you ever go there, there's a park called Shoreline Park, and it's a famous park overlooking the Pacific Ocean, and there's a beautiful beach called Ledbetter Beach, and it's right across the street from Santa Barbara City College. And you can imagine, people that go to college at Santa Barbara City College, they're like, dude, this is the most beautiful campus in the history of the world. And so there's this park called Shoreline. We used to just play, wiffle ball at this park. And there's days that I would go on bike rides with my mom. And, like this park actually just felt like an extension of our life, right? Like you just go and you can go ride your bikes with your friends. You tell mom and dad that, hey, I'm going to Shoreline. And they go, okay, no problem. And so, yeah, growing up in Santa Barbara, I mean, I had a bunch of buddies that loved baseball, and obviously, like, we're kind of SoCal, but not SoCal. We're more like right at the start of the Central Coast, but still at the northern tip of Southern California. So we're all like rabid Dodger fans.
We're with young Pete Moylan, also known as Pedro. Pete, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sandlot once again.
My pleasure, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Your first time around, let's face it, you go from Perth to Fort Myers. We're talking about some major culture shock.
Yeah, well, I was the big fish, obviously, in Perth. Not even. I was just a kid that was okay at baseball, got a chance, and then I go to the bottom of the totem pole immediately when I get to Fort Myers, and everybody hits the ball harder than me. Everybody throws harder than me. Everybody looks stronger than me. Everybody... he's probably more committed than me. So, yeah, that wasn't the best go-around. I definitely wasn't mature enough to sign, and I probably see that as a fault of maybe Howie, maybe my parents, but I just was not mature enough, and I'm sure I did a great job convincing them that I was ready. But, yeah, it was 3 years of not baseball development, but I had a good time.
Well, and, that's part of becoming a man. And you come back to Australia, you keep playing club ball, and you bounced around. You got over to New South Wales. You played with some of my buddies. And you started to become a two-way guy that was really good both ways.
I almost preferred hitting at that point. I'd done so much pitching, and a couple of back surgeries forced me away from pitching eventually for a couple of years. But when I was in Sydney and playing Winter League and winter to summer, it had been a while since I'd swung a bat. So it took a couple of weeks to get my eye back in, but then I really, really enjoyed the craft of hitting again.
Thanks to Todd Helton. He's in the Hall of Fame. Matt Holliday, who will be, and Vinny Castilla, who should be. We got Grilly and Spilly, Jason Grilly and Ryan Spilborghs. And also thanks to From Down Under, Pete Moylan. We're going to go to a break. Don't go away. We have current everyday Major League players, Chris Bryant, Brenton Doyle, and Zach Gallen when we return right here on Fox Sports 610 AM and 106.7 FM. The Sandlot. It's where everybody plays. The Sandlot is presented by South Bay Credit Union. I'm your host, Tad Powers.
The heat was unbearable. My AC was striking out and my house felt like a summer game with no shade. Then I called Econoware. What a game changer. They knocked the heat out of the park, and now I'm comfortable year-round. Give Econo-Air a call today at 714-333-0130. That's 714-333-0130. Sandlot listeners mention the show for an exclusive discount on maintenance or repair with Econo-Air.
Looking for printed apparel for your school, business, sports team, or company event? Max Graphics LA is your solution. Go to maxgraphicsla.com today and check out our options. We offer screen printing, embroidery, and more on clothes from major suppliers. Our graphic designers can help you with your logo or design. We also offer custom online retail shops where we take care of all orders and fulfillment. Visit our website at maxgraphicsla.com or call 310-595-1195 today to get started.
Terramar Collective isn't just a brand, it's a tribute. Born from the Southern California coast and inspired by the legacy of a father who helped shape the board riding world literally. Terramar Collective repurposes vintage flannels and rare finds, blending timeless style with surf heritage. Honor the past, wear the story. Find us on Instagram at Terramar Collective.
Welcome back to the Sandlot right here on Fox Sports 610 AM and 106.7 FM. KAVL, the Antelope Valley's sports talk station. I'm your host, Tad Powers. The Sandlot is presented by South Bay Credit Union. Right now we have World Series champion, a former MVP and Rookie of the Year, Chris Bryant. We also have a Gold Glove center fielder for the Rockies. He was the National League Player of the Month in the month of August, Brenton Doyle. And last but not least, we have National League champion and Diamondbacks ace. He's pitcher Zach Gallen.
Colorado Rockies spring training talking stick, one of the coolest spring training facilities I've ever been to. We're with Chris Bryant. Turn back the clock to your childhood Sandlot days. We always have to tell that story. What set you apart from the other kids in the neighborhood? What was it that made you want to play this game at the top level?
Yeah, well, I mean, my dad obviously played the game, and he's taught me a lot about the game. But yeah, baseball was really the only sport I really wanted to play. Every day after school we'd go in the cul-de-sac, and I had a couple of friends in the neighborhood, and we just played wiffle ball until the sun went down. And then I went in and did my homework, and this was like literally every day we'd go out there and play. And I just think I had a love for it from early on, and also a little bit of skill too. When you're good at something, you just want to keep doing it. And but yeah, those are honestly some of the best days of my life.
Now, this is Vegas cul-de-sac, summertime. Man, it was cooking. That wiffle ball might melt.
Yes, it was. But thankfully we all had pools to jump into in between innings, but yeah, I don't know. When you're young, you don't really realize how hot or how cold it is. You just want to be out there with your friends playing ball, and that's what we did literally every day.
Now, USD, I saw some monuments over there. Man, you had a college career that's pretty incredible, and there are some KBs up there at some really peculiar spots. I went and saw this ballpark where you play college ball, and there's these KBs. One's on the left center foul pole. I don't know how far away that is from home plate, but man, that's a shot. And one's on the dorm, and it's right center. It's like this dude was hitting bombs all over the field. That year, you hit 31 home runs. 200 and some kind of NCAA Division I teams didn't hit 31 home runs. You did it by yourself with the brand new BB Core bat. Let's talk about that year and how you figured that bat out, because it was a big jump going from the other bats to those.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know how they are now, but I think my freshman year is when they first introduced it, and they were really, really bad. And obviously they figured it out over time. But yeah, that year, I don't know, kind of blacked out that whole year. But yeah, it's funny. A funny story. The one in left field actually had a teammate with the Cubs, James Norwood, and I was telling him the story about it. And he told me he went to St. Louis, and I was like, "Oh, I think I hit a home run against you guys." Actually, probably my furthest home run I've ever hit. He's like, "Yeah, that was off of me." So this is funny. I that that game, I don't know, that ball just kind of disappeared over the legs. It was honestly the first home run I've hit. But yeah, it's cool. USD, I mean, going to college was probably the best decision I've made in my baseball career, and some of the most fun I've had on the baseball field, the best memories I've made, and it's just, you know, such an amazing school, an amazing experience, and I would definitely recommend college for any, you know, high school prospect out there.
Well, USD, man, I went and checked that campus out. I don't know if there's a more beautiful campus in the United States than that one. Mm-hmm. And being able to play baseball there out of Vegas, that was a nice little shift in weather too, because San Diego baseball weather is really good.
Yeah, it's paradise there. I mean, there wasn't. I don't know if there was a day where I was really sweating too hard.
Yeah, it was perfect.
You know, just the beach being so close. I mean, that was a big reason why I wanted to go there. It was close to home. The weather was great. My parents could come down as much as they wanted to watch me play. And the schooling, I mean, one of the top schools in the country. So I can't say enough about USD.
Rocky spring training, talking stick, Brenton Doyle, Gold Glover. How's that sound?
Super cool. I mean, I'm a guy that takes a lot of pride in my defense, so I mean that's kind of the holy grail award you can get, and it's pretty cool to do it my first year.
You know, I played 9 years in the minor leagues. I scouted for 11 internationally. And that defensive thing that we evaluate, there's an 8 on the scale.
Yeah.
You win a Gold Glove. Brenton Doyle is an 8 fielder.
I mean, that's super cool. I mean, we had some people come over the other day and let us know the video game player ratings, and mine's like a 99 overall for defense, which is pretty cool.
You know, and that means you can run.
Yeah.
You have the ability to go get it.
Right.
So where did all that start? You had to be a kid that looked at my opportunities in life. I'm going to be a major leaguer. When did you decide? What led you down that path?
Well, with the speed, for your first question, I used to be the small, scrawny kid on the team, so the speed was my best part of my game. So, and then throughout my growth spurt in high school, I kind of just kept that speed with me and kept those fast twitch muscles, and it made me the player I am today.
So fast twitch muscles, that's something that not everyone's gifted with.
Yeah.
It's not like you can just decide one day, hey, I'm going to get me some fast twitch.
Right.
But you had been gifted with it.
Right.
So you got to thank God. You got to thank mom and dad.
For sure.
But then, as a young man, you got to realize these are tools I can develop.
Yeah.
So at what age did you say, I'm going to do it, I'm going to turn into this beast and become a major leaguer?
Well, my outfield shift change happened in high school when I hit my growth spurt. I used to be an infielder, but high school coach thought I was too tall, so he moved me to center field. And I guess it was kind of a blessing in disguise because I found my home out there, and been tracking balls down ever since my sophomore year of high school out in center. So, yeah, and it's been a blast so far. Just taking reads and BP is probably the best tip I can do. You know, take those reads seriously because they're the most game-like as you can get. So just practice, you know, shagging off your teammates.
You know, and those fundamentals that you're talking about, where you're out there in the outfield, you're just not like jacking around. You're actually playing balls live off the bat in BP. And how many opportunities you get during BP to go get it?
Yeah, exactly.
Dozens. And in a game, you might get 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. That's a great tip for kids, is that don't take any of the fundamentals for granted.
No, for sure.
Go out there. Now, you did mention you had a Sandlot story. I want to know what that is. You said you're going to dig one up for me.
Well, it was back when I was playing maybe 10, 11U. So my dad, it was normally my mom that came with these travel ball trips with me, but my dad, he decided to come with me on this one trip, and he made a pretty embarrassing story out of it. I guess I was almost on deck, and he comes over to the dugout and just toying with me at the end of the dugout. He's like, "Brent, put that cigarette out and get on deck." And then all my teammates look down at me, and I'm just red in the face because I'm like, all right, clearly he's lying. But, like, that's just my dad for you, though. I mean, he's a jokester, and he likes to keep things light. And it was a fun little story back in the day.
I'd like to meet Brenton's dad. He sounds like a fun dude. I want to party with Brenton's dad.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's a good partier.
National League champion Zach Gallen. Wow, what was it like last year, dude, to go all the way from being a team that nobody really was looking at in the beginning of the season to going all the way to the World Series?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had probably a roller coaster ride is the best way to kind of describe it. Like we were talking about a little earlier, we were leading the division, and then we struggled middle half of the year and kind of just bought ourselves enough time to get into the playoffs, and then we just got hot at the right time. Everything just started clicking, and yeah, we had a blast. I mean, the clubhouse, the culture we built, it's super genuine. So, yeah, for us, we just had an unbelievable time just being around each other and fighting and doing everything we could to, win baseball games.
Well, this is the Sandlot Show, so we always want to find out what Zach Gallen was doing as a kid to set himself apart from the other kids. Where did you develop the passion? Maybe some games you played that set yourself apart. Just give us an idea of your childhood Sandlot.
Yeah, I was very fortunate. We grew up in a 2-bedroom condo right across the street from our Little League. So, you walk down the steps out your front door and you got 3 baseball fields out there with a batting cage and whatnot. And my dad, coached my brother, who's almost 9 years older than me, and then in between that, he had no kids playing. So he was the coach of the Little League Yankees in Somerville, New Jersey. So I was always out on the field. Wanted to do everything that Big Brother did, everything that his friends did. So yeah, I think that kind of just prompted my progression, I guess. Is like, all right, hey, if you want to play with the Big Brother and all of his friends, you got to step your game up a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of where I was at. And then as I got older, travel ball started to become a huge thing. I mean, I was probably by the time I was 12, we were playing 80, 90 games in a spring to summer. But yeah, just always loved it. Loved being around my buddies, traveling around, to East Coast in the summertime and playing baseball and whatnot. So yeah, it's always been a love for the game since I was 2-3 years old.
Having a brother 9 years older and trying to hang with that group, that must have been tough.
Yeah, it's tough, and they can talk some crap for sure. So if you want to kind of prevent that from happening, you better pull double the weight. It's not good to just be good enough. So yeah, that prompted me to be like, all right, I'm going to be really good, so that way I can hang and I don't have to hear them talking crap to me.
Thanks for listening to the Best of Sandlot, our final Sandlot show of the 2024 season, right here on Fox Sports, 610 a.m. and 106.7 FM. You can catch replays of this year's and last year's episodes on the Sandlot Radio Show SoundCloud page. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Sandlot Radio Show for video content with the players. We also have links to our YouTube and Spotify. I'd like to thank all of our guests on today's Best of Sandlot show. We had Jackson Holiday, Travis Bazana, Ryder Ryan, Eric Wagaman, Mookie Betts, Kike Hernandez, River Ryan, Dino Ebel, Todd Helton, Matt Holliday, Vinny Castilla, Jason Grilly, Ryan Spilborgs, Peter Moylan, Chris Bryant, Brenton Doyle, and Zach Gallen. I'd also like to thank our producer and co-host, Will Kiger, also known as Wrecking Yard Will. He's done a great job all season long. A special thanks to our listeners. We hope you've been educated and entertained all season. The Sandlot has been presented by South Bay Credit Union and sponsored by Wrecking Yard Baseball and Softball, Restore Hyper Wellness Torrance, Applied Building Solutions, and Max Graphics and Printing. The Sandlot, it's where everybody plays. It's a place of our own. It's our field. It's our neighborhood. It's our team. It's our home. I'm your host, Tad Powers.
Is this heaven?
It's Iowa. Is there a heaven?
It's the place dreams come true.
Hey, Dad? You want to have a catch?
I'd like that.
Do you want more than just wins for your kids? Do you want confidence, character, and grit? At Grit Sports Collective, we help young athletes play with purpose and train with passion. With elite coaching in baseball and basketball, we're building more than skills, we're building competitors. Because greatness starts with mindset and is earned through sweat. Grit Sports Collective. Play fierce, train harder. Now enrolling in San Diego, California. Visit gritsportscollective.com and sign up today. With so many banking options out there, why choose South Bay Credit Union? As a nonprofit credit union, they're here to serve you, not shareholders. That means they're able to provide better rates, fewer fees, and more valuable benefits to empower their members to live better and do better. You want to master your money? South Bay Credit Union puts you in control of your money with everyday banking solutions. From checking accounts to home mortgages, credit cards to auto loans, their members have access to the tools they need to achieve their financial goals now and in the future.
Terramar Collective isn't just a brand, it's a tribute. Born from the Southern California coast and inspired by the legacy of a father who helped shape the board riding world literally. Terramar Collective repurposes vintage flannels and rare finds, blending timeless style with surf heritage. Honor the past, wear the story. Find us on Instagram at Terramar Collective.